Francisco every morning to go to school. The same ferry that, on the way back, might be carrying new inmates. Over the years, there were 36 escape attempts, but only 3 inmates were successful. They were the Anglin brothers, who escaped in 1962 by using kitchen spoons to spread the bars of ventilators on the back of their cells. They crawled out of cells, made it to the shoreline, and slipped into the icy waters. It was a mile-and-a-half swim to the mainland. The Anglin brothers either drowned or made it to land and lived life. No one knows for sure, but they were never seen again. Ironically, dozens of party stories
tram, the audio tour, all that stuff. But while we wait, I want to keep it interesting. So I can talk about all sorts of different things, but I'm going to give you the choice. I'm going to give you 3 options, and then you can tell me what sounds most interesting to you. So would you like to know why I decided?
Come on, keep going, keep going. Hard, brother. Hard. 39, ya está. đúng rồi, chắc là bỏ thi là không là con thi.
known as an area that makes some of the best Pinot Noirs. And then and also Chardonnay, because of its characters. For their lovely carnivorous sparkling wines. In this area. And there was a guy just driving through one day, and it was like March or April, so it was like super green grass and like blue skies. He just took some photos and like put them on some website just for.
Russian River.
Thank you.
My YouTube channel, Peace Jones. Don't forget to like this video, like all of my videos, comment on this video, comment on all of my videos. You guys, I love to interact with you. I like to know your thoughts. I like to know your suggestions, your feelings. So please drop a comment below, even if it's something simple saying, hey, great video. It really helps me in the algorithm, and it really just helps me to be able to converse with you guys, okay? So let's get right into it. As you guys can see, I went to San Francisco. So I actually went in early October. So this video was like really late, but it was a lot of stuff to put together and a lot of editing, and I really was just tired, so I kind of put it off. But we're here now, okay? So San Francisco, California. What a beautiful city. Love, 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 love. 10 out of 10. Have to go back. I literally looked at some of my pictures last night and I was just like, damn. I was so sad that I wasn't still there. Okay, so I flew into Oakland, California. I never knew Oakland was so close to San Francisco, but it's the Bay Area. And yes, Oakland is about, now I want to say 15 minutes, but then I want to say 30 minutes away from the airport. So just to be safe, I'm going to say 30 minutes, right? It's really not too far at all. If you live in Oakland, you probably party or hang out in San Francisco and vice versa, right? Now, from my understanding, flying into Oakland is the best option just because when you fly into San Francisco, I think the flights tend to be a bit more expensive. I didn't know that, but I did just happen to fly into Oakland and then Uber over to San Francisco for my stay, okay? I stayed at the Mossier or the Moser Hotel, M-O-S-S-E-R. It was listed as a 4.5-star hotel. Now, it was a boutique style. As you guys can see, it was super small. So a lot of the buildings in San Francisco, I noticed, are like super like cute and like artsy and vintage, if that makes sense. And so they're not like, all of their hotels aren't like the big, wide, you know, hotels that we're used to. Now, they did have a Marriott right across the street, and it did have that actual like build, but mine was more of a boutique hotel. It was super cute. It was decorated really cute. Now the room was really, really small. Like, I would honestly say the room might have been smaller than some of the rooms in my actual house. And I thought that was, you know, interesting, but it was just enough for me. It was super cute. It had like a little small sink right in front of my bedroom, had like a window, super small bathroom, super cute little bed. I kept telling my friends like it reminded me of a dorm room, okay? So I don't know if you guys like the larger rooms, the larger hotels with more amenities and things to do, but for me, the boutique, it actually worked. It was clean, it was cute. It was like I was in my own little private dorm room for 4 days that I was there, okay? Now, let's talk about the diversity of the city, okay? So there is a huge Asian population, which is awesome to me because I love Asian food. I love their culture. Really cool, right? They also have the oldest and the largest Chinatown in the United States, which I thought was so lit because I've been really interested in visiting different Chinatowns in different cities, and I haven't really put a dent in that mission yet. I was trying to go to a few restaurants in Chinatown in DC, and it just didn't really work out. So that's my mission for next summer. But yes, like New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, like all of those places have really nice Chinatowns, and I think you guys should all try and go visit, okay? Now, I did make my way to Chinatown in San Francisco. I got some good boba tea. I believe that's how you pronounce that. I also had some really good Chinese food, and I was able to make it to the Golden Gate fortune cookie factory. Super, super lit. And I actually, I purchased some different flavored fortune cookies. They had like chocolate covered with sprinkles. They had chocolate chips like cooked into them. They had strawberry flavor. They had like super giant fortune cookies. And I actually did purchase one of those. Okay, so this is the super giant fortune cookie that I got from the Fortune Cookie Factory. I already ate the smaller fortune cookies, and this is it. Look at how big it is. Literally so cute. Look, it's the size of my head. So cute. They put it in this cute little bag for you, and there we go. So I will be eating that soon, and yeah, super cool. And yeah, it was just so nice. So much to do, so much to see. They had like super cute like oriental dresses. It was just really a nice experience. So San Francisco also has a really old historic I think Little Italy, and they have like a bunch of cafes, really good restaurants. I think a few of the places have been on that famous food show, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dines. So that was super cool. I kind of drove through it, and I was gonna go one night, but I just didn't make it. But definitely when I go back, I want to check that out because I heard that they have some really good food there. Okay, now as far as entertainment and things that I did. So one thing that I totally overlooked was the fact that California is like super strict with their COVID guidelines. Now I knew that, but because I live in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, I was like so stuck on our lenient guidelines that I kind of forgot about California. Right now, I am the type that before I travel, I do a bunch of research. I make sure I'm good. I make sure I know what I'm getting myself into, the rules, whatever. However, I had traveled like 4 places back to back, literally like every weekend. I was in like Chicago, I was in Houston, I was in Philly, and then I came straight to San Francisco. And so without those breaks, I really didn't have time to do that research that I normally would have and that I should have. Because on top of that, I'm still working full time. I have other things going on. So I did not realize that San Francisco in particular requires you to have a vaccination card with both vaccines and 2 weeks out after getting them. That's the only way that you can come into most establishments. And when I say most, I mean like 90%, okay? So I was getting turned down time after time. I tried to go to a rooftop. Literally, once I got to the front, they stood right in front of me. Do you have your vaccination card? Excuse me, I tried to go out for brunch. Literally, they came to the door to me. Do you have your vaccination card? I tried to go to this bar. Literally stopped me at the bar. Do you have your vaccination card? So I was able to get into one bar and they did stop me. However, they, for some reason, allowed me to still, sit at the bar and have a drink, which was nice. And then I was allowed to go into like the malls and I think maybe a few other places, but yeah, really didn't get to experience any nightlife because they were not playing about those COVID cards, which was kind of disappointing because I was looking forward to that. Didn't get to have a nice brunch because of it. Didn't get to do a few things that I really wanted to because of it, okay? So you guys, if you're going, please pay attention to those mandates. Look at the newest guidelines and make sure that you have what you need in order to enjoy your time, okay? Next, my excursions, okay? So prior to going to San Francisco, I had already booked my excursions, which I do always do ahead of time so I don't have to worry and rush once I get there. So I knew for a fact I wanted to go to Alcatraz Island, and I made sure that was on one of my lists of to-dos, okay? So I actually was a criminal justice major in undergrad. I love everything criminal justice, from the investigative portion to juveniles to the judicial system. all of the above, right? And I remember being super fascinated about Alcatraz Island when I learned about that in undergrad. And I was like, dang, you know, I would really love to see that. I was so intrigued by the prisoners that had escaped. I just was like infatuated. And I had read other books about it and things like that. So for me to have the opportunity to go to Alcatraz, to step foot, to be in the cells, like, it was a criminal justice major's dream come true, okay? Super awesome experience. We actually took a boat from San Francisco to the island. We were able to walk all around. We were able to see the ruins. We were able to walk into like the cafeteria area, the shower area, the cells, take pictures, all types of things. And so that was just an awesome experience. I cannot tell you how much that was. I want to say it was between like $75 and $150 for that tour, but it was definitely well worth it for me. And once you landed on the island, you could stay there as long as you wanted until the last ferry. So I left really early, and I really had like all the time I wanted and needed to do whatever I had to do. And then I got back on the ferry. So I think I stayed for maybe like 3 hours, right? Next, I took the tour to Napa Valley, and I think it was like a few other, Napa Valley and Sonoma wine tours. Amazing. And then it also included the Muir Woods, or the Muir Woods, M-U-I-R, which are woods in San Francisco that have the most beautiful, huge, tall redwood trees. Okay, so if you're really interested in that, you can take the tour to Yellowstone National Park, which is a little bit further out, and you can see the sequoias and the redwoods out there. I personally didn't want to do that in this trip. That was very time consuming and a bit more expensive, but I would like to do that one day. But this was the perfect combination tour for me. We left San Francisco really early in the morning. We took a bus about an hour out, met at the Redwoods. You had to pay a $15 fee to get into the actual park to look at the redwood trees, but it was super beautiful. The way the sun, because we were there so early, the way the sun was shining through as it rose, it was just very crisp air. It was very refreshing, very in touch with nature type of vibe. You know, the trees were huge, made you feel like an ant. I got plenty of great pictures. It was a really, really nice experience. And then at the front of the woods, they have like this little cafe and gift shop where you can buy things that are like made out of the trees, or just little trinkets and things like that. And yeah, it was really, really cool. And then after that, we went to, I want to say, 3 different wineries in Napa Valley and Sonoma. It honestly might have been more than that, but I think it was 3. And they all had a different vibe. They all had different types of wines. It was just spectacular. Loved it so much. The wine for me was decent, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a wine connoisseur. I like my cheap, sweet wine, to be honest. Rosés, sweet red, Riesling, things like that. So this was more so for people that have a palate that is very exquisite and they are wine connoisseurs to really enjoy it and appreciate it. Quite a few of the wines were just a little too dry for me. And excuse me, even some of them just had a horrible flavor, but for the most part they were really good. My favorite was this wine at one of the last wineries we went to, which was like a family-owned, really small winery. Family-owned, really small winery. And they had made a wine that was like infused with brandy. So it was like super sweet. It was so good. I honestly wanted to purchase it, but the way I jam-pack my bag and have to always pay for an overweight bag, I was like, no, let me just leave that here. But of course, because these are smaller wineries out in Napa Valley, a lot of their wine is not distributed or sold at, you know, larger markets or liquor stores across the country. So you really have to come to these wineries to get the wines that you want, right? So I thought that was cool. great experience. I actually signed up for the I paid an additional cost to sign up for the lunch that they had at like one of the restaurants out there. So I got like salmon and vegetables, and then we got more wine there. So I literally had 13 glasses of wine that day. And when I tell you lit was not the word, super lit, okay? Then I also had like a cheese board come out with it, and I think like a salad, right? Super great experience. Highly recommend it. Now that was a bit expensive. I think between me paying the extra $50 for the lunch, the $15 to get into the Muir Woods, and then the cost of the excursion itself, I think I paid over $300. Yeah, probably paid a little over $300 or just at $300. And so, yeah, it's a bit pricey, but I think it's an experience that's well worth it. I mean, how often are you going to get to go to Napa Valley? How often are you going to be going to Sonoma? How often are you going to get a chance to go to a real winery in wine country? Okay, Napa Valley, like, come on. People don't go there every day, okay? So, super awesome. As far as food and restaurants, I had some really great seafood at a place called Boho Restaurant. Now, I can't tell you the exact area this was in San Francisco, but I think I know which street it was all off of. It was definitely an area. I can't talk. It was definitely in an area where there were tons of restaurants, right? So if you're from the DMV, it kind of was similar to like a Georgetown or like an H Street or like a DuPont, where you go to those areas where there's just like a ton of restaurants, okay? And so, yeah, it was a bunch of different options. I chose that. I chose it because it was super cute. As you can see, the name was Boho. It had like a boho vibe. I had mussels. I had grilled octopus. I had a really good Caesar salad. And I caught them at happy hour, so I had like a few different drinks. Super delicious. Of course, I had to get my In-N-Out burger when I was out there. So, you guys, if you know, you know. In-N-Out is really good. Other than that, I think that, and the Chinese food, I think that I just pretty much got like on the go, quick, simple food. At this moment, I can't think of anything else that really stood out, as far as food that I ate. But yeah, it was super fun and super cool. And the city itself is just so unique, so beautiful. I know you guys have seen the pictures of Lombard Street, where it's like straight up. It basically looks like the street is like vertical up and down, super steep hills. That is a real thing. I actually was like, yo, people's cars have to have like ultimate brakes out here, because I cannot imagine going up those hills when it's like slick and rainy. And yeah, like they must have to have some type of inspection on their brakes yearly, because those streets are like cliffs. I actually tried walking up and down one, and I was like, wow, this in itself is just some really good exercise. So it's very unique, very cool. I just had like the best experience and energy and experience out there. I would love to go back. People are really nice. People kind of like mind their business, you know. They're not they're kind of just all doing their own thing. City life, you know, everybody's just doing their own thing, enjoying life, enjoying the scenery. It's just really a fascinating, beautiful city. A lot of history. Yeah, I loved it. Like, I really loved it, and I would love to go back. Feel like there's still pieces that I'm missing there. There's so much to do. Yeah, so I just really encourage you guys to go out there, check it out, check out all the food they have, all the history, go see Alcatraz Island, go to Napa Valley, just do everything, okay, you guys? And I will see you in my next travel vlog, and you guys take care, okay? Peace!